Am I a creationist? I am. I am. There are, it might surprise some of the audience to know that there are many Christians who are not. Um, they believe that there is a middle ground, perhaps you can have with evolution and creation. Usually the terms used are science versus the Bible, but I am a firm believer that science is interpreted and science can be demonstrated to support creationism. It's just the eye of the beholder, the one doing the interpreting. We both will look at fossils in the ground and we come to different conclusions. And the atheistic person would say, well, I'm using entirely science, and we've actually talked last week a little bit about how this is actually the atheist is actually taking a position of faith, though the word is a bad word. It's a faith position because there are many questions that cannot be proven through science. The scientific method, the observation portion of scientific method is required for science to happen. We can't observe the beginning of the universe. We can't observe life coming from non-life, information from non-information, matter from non-matter. We can't observe. So there's faith involved. But there's a separate conversation for between Christians, some who would say, well, maybe God started evolution. That's a separate conversation. So you have some Christians who would say, no, it is a literal interpretation of the Bible. That would be myself. And then there would be some who would say, well, it's more of a figurative thing, and maybe we can use what the modern world is saying about the origins and combine that with a spiritual twist. The problem there, now it's a conversation between Christians as opposed to a conversation between a Christian and an atheist. The conversation between Christians is we ought to have the same common ground. We should have the same common ground of we believe the Bible to be true. We don't have that anymore. Many people have actually, the reason why our church is a non-denominational church, 10 years ago we left a denomination for this very reason, because many Christians are now saying that they don't actually believe all of the Bible, only parts of it, and they get to choose which parts. This is a very strange position, because essentially they get to play God. And how do you know that the parts you picked are the right parts and the parts you rejected are the right parts to reject? You don't. And the only way that you have any sort of authority to appeal to is what man says about the world. Meaning, once again, we're submitting to man's ideals rather than what the Bible says. If you just plainly read the Bible, there is no getting around creationism. There is no getting around. I am aware of all of the arguments, the day-age theory, the gap theories, all these theories. None of them follow the plain grammar of the text. There is no getting around what the text actually says. So if somebody does agree that the Bible is true, if we actually have that common ground, there really is no other way about it but to believe what the Bible actually says about creation. And we can talk about that if you'd like. Leave a few knots out of the shouts. Thou shalt not, or thou shalt. Yeah, exactly. We tend, if we allow ourselves to pick and choose, we end up with something that is entirely different from the Bible, don't we? Can you ask more questions? You don't want to distract from the game too much? You absolutely can. Baller might not appreciate it if I lose the match, but that's okay. That's fine. I do want to just check, like, was that a answer that helped you out there? Was that something that because we could talk more about, the don't get too distracted. We could talk more about why I just made a big claim. Why is it that Christians really are obligated to believe the Bible literally true, even though many don't? What proofs are within the Bible from a Christian believing creationism versus one who believes a theistic evolutionary view? There's a big question there, but not everyone is here for that, right? So I want to be respectful to what everyone is actually wanting to hear. Yeah, Geldar. We just tell Baller we're doing God's work. Exactly. Problems of creation. Don't know if you want to get the weeds to chit chat. No problem. I would encourage you then, if you want to continue conversation, which I have no problem, check out Discord. I've got a whole section for discussions, faith-based discussions on Discord. So you're welcome to it. I encourage it. I welcome it.